Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Hello. Right, sorry, my microphone was across the other side of the desk and I'd completely forgotten.
It happens.
It happens. Yeah, no, thank you for this. I know you've sort of run from one call to another, and I watched the end of the live stream that you were doing earlier, so...
It's awesome. It's the morning where I feel special.
Oh, well, that's good. People want to hear what you've got to say. Well, I do anyway, so... and all 12 viewers will love it.
Hello, 12 people.
No, I really appreciate it. So, I mean, the whole point of this is I'm trying to get people that have either influenced me in YouTube or guitar to just chat to, because I've got no pedals to review particularly at the moment. So I thought, let's talk to people that I like. So, and from your perspective, it's been, I think it's the production quality that you apply to YouTube and what comes across as really couldn't give a shit what anyone thinks about me attitude towards YouTube, which I really like. Whether that's actually true or not, I don't know, but that's the attitude that comes across over camera.
Well, before we get into that, you said you talked to people that influenced you and stuff. Why in the world did you talk to Andy then? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, he just answered the email first. Actually, no. The funny thing with Andy was that I've been chatting to him. I can't remember why I connected to him. I connected to him about the Boss Katana a while back, possibly, or something. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of just chatted in the background for a while now. So he seemed like a natural person who was desperate for attention and could have done with the footage, And I was right, so it was great.
He's a really, really, really good person. I love him.
Yeah, no, he's been really helpful over the last sort of 6 months or so while I've been doing this. It's the thing is I've managed to do him, Shane from In the Blues, who's really helped me with a lot of the kind of the technical stuff around YouTube. Mike from CGS, who's just the most enthusiastic guy I've ever spoken to.
Yes.
You appear to be the center of all YouTube around our kind of group of YouTubey people. Everyone I've spoken to has mentioned you at some point during the conversation.
Well, that's no coincidence. I tried to bring us closer together, and I've been working on that for years. But let's go to if I understood your question correctly, you said it feels like I don't give a rat's ass about YouTube attitude. Is that correct?
It's not. It's not that. It's more of a take me as you find me, rather than I'll put on a front for you. Because some YouTubers you watch and they kind of go, I don't know. Watching them sounds a bit false. They're trying to be YouTubers. If that makes sense. Whereas you, Andy, and the guys I've spoken to so far, it's just here's me. I like gear. I like talking about gear, and I'm going to do it on camera.
Thing is, if I wasn't me in the videos, and some people say, oh, you're pretending to be funny or you're trying to be funny. No, that's my stupid ass sense of humor, which doesn't appeal to everyone, okay? And that's me being lame, okay? I love lame jokes. It's not like I'm failing to be funny. I know it's not funny. That's the joke, okay? If you don't get that, maybe you have the wrong sense of humor. Maybe you didn't grow up with Monty Python and South Park and all the stuff that influenced me, Maybe you have a different sense of humor. Then go watch someone else. Who are these people who take the time to insult a totally strange person that puts on free content? Just move on.
They can't.
There are literally 1 trillion channels out there. Just watch some guy talking about model trains in HO gauge or whatever. Don't watch me if you don't like me. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you. No one's putting a gun to your head to watch me. Why insult someone in the worst way possible in comments? I don't get that. I would never do that.
No, it's a strange.
Like for example, I've watched your channel. It's total crap. You see, and I'm telling you right to your face.
Yeah,
see, that's
right.
how you do that. Yeah,
that's good.
You ugly motherfucker.
Hey, dude, ugly. Lockdown hair,
And to the people out there that don't know me, this was a joke.
It's like recently Andy Ferris and Ryan Burke have been at each other quite a lot on Instagram. Yeah. And they're having to preface it with, this is a joke. We're really good friends in real life. And you think, well, why? Why do you have to preface it? Are people so stupid they can't tell a joke? Yes, they are.
Some people are, yes. So The thing is, imagine I do a video every day. Not saying I film one every day, but I release one every day, which means I have trade show videos, and then there's an afternoon where I shoot 3, 4, 5 videos in a row, then I edit, then I upload. But I have a video of, I'd say 10 minutes to an hour, but 10 minutes is pushing it because I probably don't even have those. I have that every day. Imagine you had to pretend to be someone else every day. It's now, after years and years and years, it's now a good gig. It's a gig that's well paid. But it wouldn't be any fun if I had to watch what I say. It wouldn't be any fun if I'm beholden to the brand and have to watch what I say about Fender or Gibson or any one of, Fender, I like the guy, Gibson, fuck him. But even if I had to watch about what I say about the brands, or whether I like it or not, if you don't want me to say negative things about your product, it's very, very simple. Just don't make shit products.
Yeah.
Companies want to get angry at us for saying, I wish you did this. Well, how about you made it do that? I mean, what? Of course, there's different philosophies, differences of opinion. I get that. But some stuff is plain stupid. Some stuff is plain overpriced. Some stuff is plain too heavy. Some stuff is plain not well built and the quality's not there.
What the hell are you talking about?
If you want us to say good things, why don't you just make good things? The thing is, the companies themselves often know that there's an issue with it. They try to get away with it. They try to cut costs to make the most profit. That's all good. The companies that don't do that stand out as the companies that always deliver good stuff. And if you want me to say good stuff about your product, don't call me and say, can you say good stuff about it? Don't call me and try to put words in my mouth, as companies do. Just make a good product. What's hard about that?
Yeah, I've had a couple of people say that to me during these chats, with companies almost sending scripts out saying, we need you to say this about the product and this about the product, and and just people just saying, no, you're good. I don't really care. I'm not that interested.
I mean, I'm very strict with companies, even on the first contact. I mean, I had some run-ins with Fender. I just told Rick that story. I had some run-ins with Fender over the years. But now the new guy that's handling these things contacted me. We talked. And in my first email, I said, look, you make some kick-ass stuff. If you sent me kick-ass stuff, I'll say good things because they're good products. But keep the Acoustasonic where it is. It's not my product. I have things to critique on it because it's a stupid concept. I think that your first run of pedals was insanely beautifully built, beautiful interface, LEDs on the knobs, amazing battery flap, beautiful brushed aluminum, amazing pedals. They just don't sound good. They have real issues. And if you don't want me to say that, don't send me those pedals. It's very easy. Send me the stuff that actually is good. Okay. And the guy was cool. He sent me more pedals and said, look, don't make videos, but I know you're honest because in your first email, you were honest. So let me know how we're doing. Let me know if we've done better now.
That's cool.
And I told him the Acoustasonic, I mean, as a gigging musician, having a guitar that's acoustic and electric without having to switch between guitars is a good idea. No question about that. Other companies have done that over and over and over. Okay? You have a guitar that's all electric but has a piezo in it, like the Parker Fly, is super lightweight. That's a gigging musician's guitar. Is it a recording musician's guitar? Maybe not, because it's compromised in its materials and lightweight and all that stuff. But it's a gigging musician's guitar, super lightweight, easy to play, has piezo sounds, which is good enough for this strummy acoustic thing. Godin has done it over the years. The idea of the Acoustasonic is not new. In no way. But what I would expect from this guitar is, so you have a guitar that's primarily acoustic, meaning it has acoustic strings on it. That's how they're getting delivered. So they're thick strings, wrapped G string, all that stuff. So how electric are you going to play on this? It's got acoustic strings with wrapped G string, probably 12s. Are you going to go and bend on that like on any? No, you're not going to play that like an electric. You're not. It has one pickup, which is a bridge pickup. Well, fuck that. It has a bridge single coil. Well, that's great because I would use that almost never. You know, if I want clean sounds, I'm going to go neck. I'm going to go in between. Am I going to go bridge? Personally, no. Other people love that honky bridge sound. I don't. So for me, no. But it's the only sound you have. But the worst, and let's assume you love your bridge sounds. Great. Let's assume you like the piezo-y, slightly compromised acoustic sound, but it's fine for live.
Yeah.
The one thing I want live is to be able to send those sounds to different sources, and to have them one or the other or both. But I will never. It's completely, utterly ridiculous if I have it both. The electric pickup needs to go into your pedal board and your amp.
Yep.
And the acoustic pickup needs to go into either an acoustic pedal or into a DI box, front of house, so that the guy can EQ it and put reverb on it and stuff like this. It has one output. It's mono.
Actually, I didn't know that. I haven't really looked into it.
0 sense. So either it has to have two outputs, preferably an XLR, but let's forget about that. Acoustic guitars don't have that either. It has to have a TRS plug that splits into two, which is hopefully delivered with it. 6-meter cable, whatever that is in feet. I don't know. That splits into two at the end, so that when I'm on the acoustic pickup, it goes out of A. I'm on the electric pickup, it goes out of B. I'm on a mix, it goes out of A and B. Otherwise, it's utterly unusable, I think. Because imagine you have a pedal board and they're saying, well, you can use an A-B switch. No, I cannot. No, I cannot. Because I'm going into this A-B switch. So I'm doing A when I'm on the acoustic. So that means I'm on stage and I'm switching to the acoustic and I'm asked to now run to my pedal board and switch that. If the guitar very easily could do it by itself, then I'm going to the electric pickup. Again, I have to click my pedal. What about both at the same time? So I'm going to a mix. And then on my A-B switch, I'm going to A and B. And that's not going to work because my electric sound's going to front of house and my acoustic sound's going to my amp. It's the tiniest little thing to do an intelligent switching system in there, TRS, the tiniest little thing which would make this thing actually usable in the situation where it's supposed to be used in a live situation. But here's, furthermore, I'm going to on a rant, but
no, go for your life, go for your life.
So then it's priced at $2,000 or around that. This is a useful tool, meaning it's a useful tool for the gigging musician. You'll never use it in the studio if you have any brains because you have acoustics in the studio.
Yep.
With mics. Okay, you're likely going to use something like this. That's a Stanford OM28, costs about $700-800. There's no pickup, there's no cutaway. This is a guitar that just sounds really, really good. And you put a mic in front of it, and it's going to blow your €2,000 Acoustasonic out of the water because it's. Because it moves the air in the room.
Yeah.
It's just a great guitar. So you use that in the studio. And is anyone actually going to record in the studio with the electric pickup on an Acoustasonic if there's actual guitars there, like electric guitars? No. So it's a live thing, right?
Yeah.
So it fits the need of a guitar player in a live situation. It's a tool. Well, a €2,000 guitar is not a tool anymore. A €2,000 guitar is a luxury item that I want to have for.
And don't want to scratch.
Yeah. Well, it's a. I want this because I desire it. At $1,000, at 1,200, 1,300, you buy a good tool. You buy a good tool that does the job.
Yeah.
You don't care if it's really pretty. You don't care about, fancy woods and stuff. It does the job. You pick it up. It's blue, green, red, and you play the gig. It's not going to be your recording guitar at home. It's not going to be your luxury item that you have on the wall because you always dreamed of having that guitar in a certain wood finish or color. It's a tool. At $2,000, it becomes a luxury kind of guitar. That's kind of where I draw the line of... but no one actually always desired to have the Acoustasonic. It's a tool. It's a great tool for if it had the switching for certain things. So all of a sudden, it's a luxury guitar, and they're bringing it out in, of course, for more money, in Koa tops and all these sexy kind of guitar porn tops. It's not a guitar porn guitar. It's not for that. It's a tool. Now, if they had priced it at $1,200, which is still pricey for a tool, and given it the switching, I can review that all day long and say, you know what, not for me, but for the gigging musician, hell yeah.
See, I'd still have bought a Godin, even at that price. I used to have the Godin with the 3 outputs.
But I mean, it's... At that price, you can say, okay, I'm going to hit some power chords with a thing, I'm going to play an electric guitar solo, no bends, of course. And then I'm going to do the acoustic strumming. Absolutely. But at the price point where they are, those are desire guitars. Those are, that's the price point where you really have to want it. And then why make them in pretty finishes that make them even more expensive? Apparently they're selling and people are saying good things about them. I've heard them sound good on the Anderton's channel. Danish people make them sound really good. But I think conceptually, the price range doesn't work. Conceptually, it doesn't work for me that they're trying to make them pretty and therefore guitar porn, which I don't understand. But most of all, the switching makes them completely besides the point. It's like, why? Why have a guitar that can have 2 different sounds that conceptually have to go to different destinations, but then you can't?
Yeah, I'd never even thought about that. But yeah, you're right, because as you say, you can't go through your electric board and then switch the acoustic pickup because you're going to kill everyone as the feedback hits you if you haven't switched the distortion off.
It has to go to 2 different destinations, as actually most guitars that have a piezo already have.
Yeah, they always have a second output.
I don't understand this. You have a guitar that has a piezo, so you have a primarily electric with a little bit of acoustic, and those, whether it's the PRS or the Parker Fly or any guitar or the Petrucci from Music Man, all these guitars have the ability to go TRS to do 2 different destinations, to process the signal differently. Now here you have primarily an acoustic that has a little bit of electric, so the whole concept but flipped upside down, and they're like, nah, mono is enough. So here's the thing. This whole rant, and I'm trying to prove a point. If I'm honest, which I am, this would have been my video. I would have shown the sounds, but then I would have done all this, basically trashing the whole concept.
Yeah.
That's not a video that doesn't serve anyone. That's not a that's not a video that serves anyone. So why would Fender pay me for that? They wouldn't. And I would honestly tell them right away, that's the video I would be making. Now, either I make that video or I don't make one. Those are the 2 choices. So I give them the choice, let's not make that video. But that shouldn't mean that we can't work together if you have other products.
Yeah.
Now, the American Ultra Strat, I was critical when they came out. They made it look like, oh, we reinvented the guitar. Bullshit, they didn't. They actually went one step back because the truss rod adjustment is now on the headstock again instead of the spoke wheel. Yeah. But it's a kick-ass guitar. Yeah. It's actually really good. And I compared it to the Ibanez AZ. It's tonally actually a little bit better than the Ibanez AZ. If you're going for those single coil Strat sounds, the AZ sounds like an AZ. The Ultra nails the Strat more than the Ibanez, and playability is the same. All that, yeah. But the thing is, the honesty is number one. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how much friends we are or how much no friends we are. If I hate someone from a company and absolutely hate them and I think they're the scum of the universe, if someone asks me about their products and the product is actually good, I will tell them, yes, that's a good product. I wouldn't buy it because the people you're supporting are Nazi scum assholes. I don't know what company I'm talking about, but there is a company I'm talking about. Then, I would tell them why I think the product's good, but why I wouldn't go for the product.
Yeah.
Gibson Custom Shop guitars are good guitars. I would never buy one. I wouldn't recommend buying one because you're supporting the worst of evil corporate America.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure my viewers have seen the videos that you and Glenn Fricker did on that one, on that exact topic. Some of the funniest things I've ever watched on YouTube.
that was fun. Bully guitars, yes. But I actually, the first episode of the podcast I'm doing with Dave and Michiel was about Gibson and what I think is actually happening and what their long-term goal is. So if anyone's interested in my rant on Gibson, which I'm not going to do on my channel, then listen to the podcast, which is called Animals at the End. You can get it on Podbean and Spotify.
I'll stick a link in the description.
Yeah. Let me put this guitar away. Wait a second, I can't hear you for a second. So after this unpaid review of the Acoustasonic, moving on.
What I'll do now is I'll do the introduction. No, that's cool. Let's do this backwards. So, hi, Henning. How are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
I'm fine. I have coffee. Hamster King is with me. So all good.
Good stuff. I can't remember anything I've said to you already. So what I'll do is I'll ask you an actual interview question just for shits and giggles. And I can't remember what it was because I've just thrown away the piece of paper that I had. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. Okay. So.
You're not going to cut that out. I want all of that to stay in right there.
Mate. So my channel's got, 1,700 subscribers or something. So I don't think any of them are going to care about me swearing on this particular one. I try not to, generally, just because, the 30 quid a month I make off monetizations buys a pedal occasionally.
Actually, YouTube has a new feature where you have to say what you have in the videos. I always, just because I might say shit, fuck, cunt, motherfucker, cock. Who knows? I say vulgar language.
Yeah.
Whether or not I say fuck in the video or not, I don't care. I just click that because I might. And I don't remember. And it doesn't demonetize any videos. It says cleared for all advertisers.
Oh, that's right. The reason I do it, actually more than anything else, is that door behind me is the gateway to my children. So my 8-year-old has a really fun habit of just wandering in and saying hello while I'm doing this sort of stuff. So if I'm in the middle, it's just like, right, car, hi.
Okay, I'll try to behave then.
No, I'm on headphones, so she can't hear a thing. Right, so anyway, interview question. I do remember one of the questions I was going to ask you. You've answered the first one I was going to ask you, or one of the ones, which is about the worst bit of gear you've ever reviewed. I think we've covered that.
No, because I didn't review that. So I quickly tell you, I would think it's the DV Mark M250 or something. It's a little solid state metal amp,
right?
And DV Mark comes from Mark Bass, who do amazing bass gear, and they try to take that technology and all of that to turn it into guitar gear, and their guitar gear is pretty damn horrible. My buddy Victor and Harry both reviewed a different amp of that series, and they like it. But I had that metal thing, and it's like $500. It doesn't work with pedals. The metal sounds are absolutely ghastly. It's just a bad piece of gear. And I heard they have like a modeling amp, and I heard it at a trade show, someone noodling on it. Just, they don't know how to do guitar gear. And the people from the distributor are also like, we don't know how to sell this. So
that's always good.
And there's like, the thing is, they're coming from the bass world.
Yeah.
And they're doing great jobs in the bass world, lightweight, Class D and all this. And in the bass world, you got speak-on outs, right?
Yeah.
on the bass amps, which makes sense because your bass cabs have speak-on in. It's a good, solid connection.
Yeah.
Now, their guitar amp has a speak-on out.
Right.
Which no one in the guitar world uses.
Nope.
And interestingly, their guitar cab also doesn't have a speak-on in.
That makes sense.
So why in the freaking world would you give your guitar head a speak-on out that no guitar player has cables for if even your own product doesn't accept that cable? It makes no sense in the world. It's clearly like, oh, I designed bass amps. I don't know what I'm doing, so I give this a speak-on out. It just didn't make any sense. I would possibly think that's one of the worst things I ever reviewed. And then there was a Chinese company making pedals. Oral Dream, that's what they were called.
Oh, I know one. Yeah.
Watch that video. It's on my channel. I reviewed 3 pedals in that video from Oral Dream. The name of the company is a good hint of how good they are. And they're utter shite, as they would say in England. And I don't do videos where I trash things. We've just covered that.
Yeah.
But in that instance, I did. And I took their money and I made a video saying these are bad because I've worked long enough with Chinese companies to know that you have to be ultra clear. It was supposed to be a wake-up call for them to say, look, you are not there yet. You're now, I know I never work with you again. I get that. But you have taken your money for a review and the guy's saying these are bad. If even a paid reviewer is saying these are bad, maybe these are bad. They were not ready in any way. There's bad gear out there. And I think we should be the people at the gate guarding the gatekeepers. That's what people. The gatekeepers of crap, for the audience. If you can buy if you can buy our opinion, then this whole thing doesn't make sense if we don't say what we think.
And I think that's one of the things that people, I've touched on this in other videos, people don't necessarily understand. So the really good example of that was the Rev G3 pedal that came out. And I've mentioned this in another video as well, but every YouTuber who got one, it released it on the same day at the same time. And the whole kind of comment section was, oh, you're all being paid to say good things about this. And everyone's going, no, it's actually a really good pedal. So we're saying good stuff about it because it's good. And not all of us are being paid for it. Not all of us are getting it for free. And it was just really interesting seeing the comments on these different channels like Pete Godfrey and a few others where you just go, people just don't get that this is a job. And if you're not honest, it gets picked up so quickly by people just going. So, I mean, when I first started, I was getting little Donner pedals and I was expecting them to be absolute shit and they were quite good. I hadn't got a big reference point at that stage, but and people are going, oh, you're just saying that because you're getting paid for it. At the point I have 100 viewers. No, I don't. I'm not getting paid for anything.
People are so stupid, especially the Rev G3 thing. Where's the difference if those videos came out weeks apart from each other or all on the same day? Where's the difference in the honesty? It doesn't matter when they come out. They can all come out on the same day. We obviously got the pedal from the company. We obviously got the pedal or money and or, okay? How would it be different if there was 5 days between the videos? None. No. It would be less conspicuous, but we have to be open anyway. It's the law that we say in the video, under the video, in the intro, or we say it that we got either the product or that we got paid. It is the law. It is illegal not to say it. So what you do with that information is up to you. Whether you believe us or not, that's up to the viewer. Now, for example, I didn't get paid for the Rev video. Does that mean I'm more honest? No. I'm very good friends with the guys from Rev. Very, very good friends. They know. I'll be honest. They absolutely know. Now, I compared it to the actual amp. And you know what? It doesn't sound like the actual amp. It's close, but you can't get that sound from the 100p. It's close, but not there. Now, they had their flagship product, meaning the product that was going to put them on a different map, which is the D20, the pedal platform amp with built-in torpedo. And I was one of the first to review it. And I didn't give it a raving review.
No?
I said, I'm a little bit disappointed because it's a pedal platform amp that doesn't really have a lot of headroom for clean. And Sean Tubbs co-designed it, and he likes it in the edge of breakup, and he likes it to be not super clean for pedals. Well, I do. I want it to be very clean. And if I get a pedal platform amp, I want it to be clean. And this amp doesn't have a lot of power. 20 watts 6v6. It doesn't get very loud. And I feel I'm constantly having it as loud as I can possibly have it. And I want to give it more gain to get a little bit more meatiness out of it, but all of a sudden it distorts too early.
Yeah.
And and I made that video for my very good friends at Rev. But the viewers come first, then the friendship, and they get that. And what happened is they then talked to other people, Joey Landreth and other people that had it on tour, and they tested it. And all of a sudden, because they said, well, what do you think about the headroom? Everyone said, yeah, actually, we would like a little bit more. You can't go by everyone's going to be honest, because everyone's going to be tiptoeing around. Oh, we don't want to offend them, blah, blah, blah. So we don't say what we really think. That doesn't help companies. Tiptoeing around what you really think doesn't help them. You're only a good friend if you tell them straight away, I think it could be better. And that's what I said in the video. And then before they did the first shipment, because of my video, they asked all the artists. The artists reported back, yeah, a little bit more headroom would be nice. And then they changed the design. And they gave it a little bit more headroom. And the amp got better. So it's totally possible to be honest and to be paid anyway. So what I want is, I fought hard for us to get paid for videos. I fought hard for our format to be accepted by companies, because many companies, especially the bigger ones, are still print. And print ads are the least form of honest advertising, because the whole ad is designed by the company.
Yep.
It's designed for you to be interested in the product. The ad in a magazine is not honest. It's all positive about the product because it's designed by the company, right?
Yeah.
Then their own videos on their own channels are not going to tell you this is crap, or we wish we had made this a little bit better. No, it's only going to be the best settings.
Yeah, perfect
right?
conditions.
Yeah. And an ad in a magazine is placed, and apparently people don't understand this, not primarily for you to see the product in the ad, because it's an ad. I mean, obviously it's going to be all positive and shiny. The ad is placed so that the magazine writes a review.
Yeah.
You get reviews if you spend money with the magazine. The more money you spend with the magazine, the more reviews you're likely to get, and the more favorable the review is going to be. So an ad in Guitar and Bass, which is a German magazine, great magazine, I love it. 4-page ad, over $3,000. Yeah. Okay. If you don't get any deals, you don't place a lot of ads, you don't get like a discount, over $3,000 plus tax. So, do you think Guitar and Bass is going to write a review of their product saying, yeah, it's mediocre? Do you think they're going to do that and risk not getting another $3,000? No, they're going to. Now, I'm going to be honest about this. Warwick, which is Warwick basses, frameless guitars, and they have a lot of distribution for a lot of pedals in Germany. They're buying about 28 pages every month in that magazine. I added it up.
Wow.
4 pages, half pages, quarter pages. I added it all up. It adds up to about 28 full pages. So even if they don't spend $3,000, let's say they're getting in a mega insane deal, which would be 1/3 of the normal price, which I don't think they're getting, but let's assume that. That's still 28,000 euro plus tax that they're spending on that magazine. So if they pulled out of advertising in that magazine, they can go home. The magazine's dead.
Yeah.
Okay? That's paying probably for all their salaries. So how honest do you think? First of all, who gets preferential treatment when it comes to what to review? Would you be amazed that a Warwick bass frequently gets reviewed before others, and that there's Warwick basses and framers gear on the cover?
Yeah.
Would you be amazed that there's pretty much news about whatever Warwick and Framers is doing in terms of the distribution of their own products in the news section? Oh, the news section is filled with their products. The review section with pedals and whatever is filled with their products. Now, of course, 99% of the people don't know the catalog that Warwick Framers has. Yep. And so it doesn't really appear to you. You don't see that. But that's how it works in the magazines. And they're not going to go, I mean, they have good products, but they're not going to go and trash them even if they were trash. Because it's their livelihood. But that's how magazines work. And that's also how some YouTube channels work. I will guarantee you that some of us can absolutely be bought. I know from people that have taken money to do the official video for a company, even on the company's website. Maybe not on their channel, because our channels are sacred in that way.
Yeah.
But maybe on our channel. But let's say I know from people that have taken a lot of money from companies, smiled and made the products, and then as soon as the camera was off, we're like, oh God, this is total shit. It doesn't sustain. What kind of piece of crap is this? Okay. The thing is, there's something like integrity. Mm. If that's what I thought, I wouldn't give my face to the company. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking, oh, this isn't that good, I wouldn't make the video, because don't you think that's going to come back to haunt you at some point?
Absolutely. That's what I was saying before, isn't it? It's that whole thing of, if you're not honest, it does come, it's obvious after a while, especially if one particular brand that everyone else is saying this isn't that great, and you're saying, oh, this is amazing, absolutely fantastic, and you've got 15 other channels going, it's okay. It becomes pretty obvious pretty quickly that there's something else going on in the background on that.
It's just like, if users are going to buy this, because you lent your face to it, even if it's on an official video, aren't they going to blame you for a bad purchase?
It's that one of... I was going to say, it's like that thing when you get kind of a budget pedal and they put it through, they get like a $2,000 PRS and a £3,000 amp, and they put it all together and go, yeah, this pedal sounds great. No, the amp and the guitar sounds great. The pedal is just in the middle somewhere. Put it through my 10 quid.
I do disagree with that.
Okay, yeah, I've seen you do a few things around that, actually.
I do disagree with you on that, because if I have a budget product and I pair it with other budget products, you have no idea if it sounds bad, which is the weakest link in the chain. You don't know. If I'm taking a Donner pedal, if I'm taking a Donner pedal and I'm taking a realistic guitar and amp with it, let's say, and that's €120 Holly Benton with a little solid state amp. Do you actually know if this pedal could be good? No, because you don't know if that guitar's shit. You don't know if it's the cheap ass amp. You have no idea which is the weakest link. Now, if it's a good product, it has to be the weakest link in the chain. The product that you review has to be the weakest link in the chain. If a Donner pedal can sound good with a boutique guitar and a boutique amp, well, then it's not a bad pedal, because it doesn't make them sound shit. If you have a bad pedal, it will make that amazing gear sound bad. Whatever you review has to be the weakest link.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, okay.
If I'm doing a video with all three products being really cheap, but it's about the pedal, well, you don't know if it sounds bad because of the guitar, the amp, or the pedal. If I'm pairing it with high-end gear and it sounds good, then the pedal can't be bad. The guitar and the amp are not going to make the pedal sound good. Or if I'm reviewing a Harley Benton guitar and it sounds good with a 3,000 euro Friedman and an aux, then it's not a bad guitar, because it will, with that gear, it will show its weaknesses.
Okay, no, I'll give you that. Yep.
That gear is high resolution. It will show if the pickups are thin or muddy or whatever. Now, if I'm pairing that with a Line 6 Spider for $150, okay? Now, if I recorded the Harley Benton with a Line 6 Spider and a mic in front of it, would that tell you anything about the guitar?
No, fair point.
You would have no idea if the guitar's shit or the amp is shit. So people bitch about that. Of course, it's going to sound good with the sewer. No, I highly disagree. It's whatever you're reviewing has to be the weakest link in the chain. And if it still sounds good, it doesn't sound good because of the other stuff I used. It sounds good with the other stuff I used.
Yeah. Okay. No, I will stand corrected on that one quite happily. That makes a lot of sense.
Talking about a product, for example, that where some YouTubers took the money and smile, and some YouTubers just said, let's not do it because this is crap. I'm going to say this openly. There's all these ads on Facebook for the jammy guitar. Have you seen this thing?
Is that the thing which you stick on the back end of the guitar? Is it that one?
No, that's it's like a MIDI guitar.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the neck part, and it's got frets and all that, but then there's the string part, which is the strumming part, which is
the MIDI controller, yeah.
It's a MIDI controller, and it connects with Bluetooth with your app, and then you can play different sounds. You can play guitar sounds, different tunings, and it's all plastic, and it's meant to be packed up and folded together for, on a plane, in a hotel room, whatever, and maybe practicing and maybe playing different kind of sounds. Now, hypothetically cool to have something that you can take with you in a backpack and still have a thing that resembles a guitar with strumming and finger picking, and it gives you acoustic sounds, electric sounds. But it's Bluetooth. It's having to process, and all the sounds are created synthetically. They're not gonna be great sounds. And they don't claim that it would be. They don't claim that this will actually be an electric guitar. It's more like a practicing and so on. But it's Bluetooth, which means you have latency.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, try to strum or play anything fast. There's a lot. I'm sure it does some things that will hit a certain market and will work there. But you have to talk about pricing for a thing like this, because I already $400 or $500, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Which for what it does and what it gives you, that would be a no-go for me. And you have to talk about latency. You have to talk about all these things. Now, they went for big channels, and I know that I don't know who else did it. A couple of people did it. I know that Mary Spender did it, and they got a lot of clicks. I'm sure those channels are happy about it. But they were like, oh, yeah, this is great. And, I didn't think. And, well, I haven't had it. I admit that. But I immediately, when they wrote to me, told them what I think could be an issue. I immediately told them, conceptually, I think this could be problematic, and I will review it. I won't do a straight up demo and tell people that it's great if I don't think it's great. And I see problems with the concept. They never got back to me. And I know that other
surprise.
I know that other people you've talked to, actually got it and sent it back and said, look, I can't put my face on this. It's not up to the level where it's supposed to be. Now, I know we all want to make money, but I think integrity. I think there's companies that don't work with me because I'm honest. There's companies that don't work with me anymore because I'm honest. I think there's enough companies that make good stuff that I still have a job, but the viewers come first. It has to be. Actually,
something I wanted to ask you. I'm aware we're sort of nearly at the hour, but how did you get into YouTube? What was the sort of starting point for you?
Bought 2 Harley Benton pedals, which I then found out were Joyo rebranded.
Yep.
The Ultimate Sound, which is a OCD,
Mhm.
and the American Sound. And I just bought them because I bought a MXR compressor and had a little bit of money left. I thought, hey, cheap pedals, sure. I didn't have a lot of pedals at the time, just a couple of overdrives. Didn't really know much about pedals. And they arrived, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I had a student here who was a kick-ass player, and I said, let's make videos about this. Because I had a YouTube channel where I posted dogs and stuff, just a private YouTube channel. And I had posted a couple of little lessons of licks, and I've done just with a webcam.
Yeah.
Really just for fun, nothing big. Completely private, really. And so I made those videos, very simple. But I have produced tons of albums. I have a recording studio. I know how to get good audio for my voice. I know how to get good audio for the guitar and all that. So they were decent videos. And for those pedals, for those cheap China pedals, there weren't any good videos. 2012 or 13 or something.
Yeah.
So people responded really well to them and said, oh, these are the best videos for these pedals out there. Can you do more? So I contacted Thomann, and they sent more. And then I found Joyo and found out they made them, and they had other pedals that Thomann didn't have. And so they sent me stuff. And so I made more of those videos.
Cool.
And, with like a camera, and I had a webcam filming the pedal from above. But I cut that out. So I think I had two cameras or whatever. So
yeah.
Very simple gear in the beginning. And but I mean, I'm not a sucky guitar player, and
Not at all, no.
I know how to get decent sounds, because that's what I do. So they were decent videos in terms of people could hear what that sounds like, and yeah, that's how it started. And you do pedals that you can get, which means you're happy if you can get a cheap China pedal for $20.
Absolutely, I've got quite a lot on my pedal board.
Yeah. So that's how it started, and those are the companies that are willing to work with you when you don't have a lot of subs.
Thomann are great for that, actually.
Yeah. So it's if as your channel grows, you have more data to show, you have more sales to show, more clicks to show, and then you could get to bigger companies that are willing to send you stuff. There's some bigger companies that send stuff to small channels because the more the merrier, they think, and that's great. And at some point, you have enough data to show to say, look, I'd like to do less teaching and less this, and more of YouTube, but I need to charge for it. And then you start charging a little bit. $200 a video is not too much to ask for what we do, if you have the data to show. But I started charging at 30,000 subs, and that's a long way to go for no money. I mean, YouTube money is almost non-existent at that point. And it's a big step to say, I'm doing this professionally now. When you have bills to pay, house to pay, insurance to pay, you've got, 3 dogs and 5 cats. And I mean, health insurance and electricity is $1,000 a month right here. That's only 2 bills. So it's a big step.
And it's a real job as well. It's I think, again, people don't really see that you need public liability, I'd imagine. If you've got people on site, especially when you did your 47th Street, oh God, what's it called?
42 Gear Street.
42 Gear Street, thank you, Jesus. That requires an awful lot of stuff, not just the planning and the people, the finance behind that, the insurance is behind that. Just having stuff in your own room. I mean, I'm looking at the screen now, the amount of stuff you got in there, your electricity bill must be through the roof when you start running stuff.
It's $600 a month, only electricity.
Wow. So yeah, broadband, camera setups, laptops, computers, recording equipment, all this stuff. It's a job. I'm lucky in that I'm small and doing stuff. I've got a little Focusrite, I've got my phone, and that's good enough for what I'm doing now. But as I evolve, that has to improve because people expect better quality as you move on. So you can't just stick with your webcam and that sort of stuff. You need to grow and not so much compete with the big boys, but you need to at least show willingness to be better each time. So I think a lot of people just don't really see that bit behind the scenes as much, and think it's just he's got a channel and it went really well, yay.
I mean, if you look at my setup, which is pretty ridiculous, but what the pretty picture you're seeing right now, I'm very happy with. It's a come on camera, here we go. I was doing this and then the camera focused on my hand, which is very important when you're working by yourself with one camera, that you have one that does insane autofocus. So right now, to get a good picture that has great autofocus, beautiful colors, sharpness, and good sound is very important. Like when you have a reverberary room and you have to kind of go with your ears into the room and find out what is he saying, that can get extremely annoying.
Yeah.
Good vocal audio production. First of all, having a good mic, having a treated room, and then being able to process it later with right compression and noise reduction, all that stuff. But if you look at the one camera setup that I'm looking at right now, the camera and the lens is $5,000. It's sitting on a slider to do slide shots, which is altogether another grand. So that's $6,000. The mic that I'm talking into is a Sharp C Mid Mini. That's another $2,000, so that's $7,000. That's $7,000 without the audio interface, which is another $2,000. That's an Apollo, and that's without the plugins. So right there, one camera, one mic, audio interface, $9,000. And I have 10 cameras running when I'm doing my videos, which, I mean, I have 10 cameras running, yeah. There's 2 or 3, one main cam, 2 on the guitar, this camera, which is, we call it the favorite camera because it's wide angle, so it shows the room, it shows me. It's always kind of the go-to camera. And the one camera that does autofocus, so if I have anything that I want to hold in front of it, it autofocuses.
Yep.
I have one on top of the pedal. I have one on the side of the pedal. I have one coming from across the room that shows the pedal on the table, so you can get both sides and can get a feel for how big it is, and not just the two-dimensional top view, but also, you
get depth to it. And...
Yes, exactly. I have one wide angle that shows the amp wall when I'm switching amps. I have one in the back there, right there. Not for you. For you, it's over there. But for that camera, it's over here. And that shows either the pedal on the table from far away, or it shows like the back of the neck or whatever. Because we're doing the live switching, meaning my girlfriend is sitting up there in a pretty much TV studio live production room.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I don't edit later. It gets edited as I do it.
Yeah, that makes
the pedal hanging there, picture in picture. This is all done live. All I do is I cut some parts out later, and I put together the intro and the overlays, like text or whatever. But the actual video with up to 10 cameras is all done live. She actually switches it live. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible to do that.
And I suppose because you're producing videos per week anyway, so as you say, you're doing 5 back to back in a day, whereas me, it's kind of one camera, possibly 2 if I can charge up an iPad to stick over a pedal, but that takes 2 hours to edit on its own. Just simple production, just the audio production.
Imagine you had 10 angles in 4K.
Yeah, the rendering would take days.
Yes, and you have to edit it together. I mean, I'm doing one, but it's in Apple ProRes. It gets recorded straight, like what we're recording right now.
Yeah.
Gets recorded straight onto a recorder. So I have SSD drives. You stick that into the recorder, and I pull it out in there. I stick it in a bay here, and then bam, I have the file right there. I don't even have to transfer the file; it stays on the hard drive. But I mean, if you think, it's what you're doing is the beginning of a channel.
Yeah.
You're using what you have.
Yeah.
To give you an idea, what's in there is a 20 input 4K video switcher from Blackmagic Design. So I can have 20 angles in 4K running at the same time. And I have another probably 6 or 7 cameras sitting on a shelf over there. So I can go to a full, I think by now 18 camera live stream if I wanted that, in 4K. So it's going into a 20 input switcher, which is $6,000. Then Leslie's sitting on a control board from where she can control it. So it's actually hands-on. We could do it with software, but she has that in front of her. So that's another $3,000. Next to her is a PreSonus Studio Live audio board, digital. That's another $2,000. There's a Mac Mini that runs the switching software and the routing matrix. That's a Mac Mini. You know how much that is?
Yeah.
She's sitting in front of 4 4K screens. So she sees all the preview angles.
Yeah.
She sees every camera angle she sees on a big 55-inch, the main screen, so that she really sees the detail to focus, because all the cameras have remote control.
Yeah.
She what else is in there? The switching matrix. So all the camera angles and TVs and everything is actually plugged into a 40 by 40 matrix.
Yeah.
Called a video hub, which means in software I can say, without having to rewire something, I want that camera to go to that input. And today I want that input to have the Mac screen. So when I do like screen capture, for example, I don't do screen capture. I actually feed the Mac screen into the video system, and then it's seen as one of the angles. So I can put myself live green screened on top of the Mac screen, for example, and then have a pedal hanging next to me. I do this all, something you would have to do in editing, like green screening yourself out, and then the Mac screen as screen capture and the pedal hanging. I can actually set that up as a real-time screen that we can just switch to. So in that matrix, I can say what goes where. I have 2 55-inch TVs right there, one with the multi-view where you see all the angles, and one with the actual thing that's live right now.
Yep.
So I can always see what Leslie has live. So I can actually, on the screen, I can point at something in real time because I'm seeing it in front of me.
Yeah.
So I know what she's recording right now. So I know that she's on the back of the neck, or that she's wherever. So I can actually react to what viewers are seeing. So there's an interaction with what's being edited right now. But I can say on those screens what's on them on the matrix. I have cables running upstairs into the living room. So for cameras coming down and for video going up. So if I film something upstairs, I can say what's on my big screen in the living room. So this whole video switching matrix allows me to change the setup in software alone.
Yeah.
I hook up some new cameras. It goes, say, new inputs. And then I can now say, okay, on those inputs, instead of going to the video switcher and having to plug the cameras in, all I do is I go into the software and change what goes into those inputs. And that video matrix, there's another 4K. And then we're recording that, I said, on SSD drives.
Yeah.
Well, those are hardware recorders. And I've got 2 of them, and they're $2,500 each.
So
and now, wait a second.
Oh God.
Now, to be crazier, for Gear Street, I went to this new ridiculous setup, which means I have my old setup, which is a 10-input 4K switcher with recorder and all that stuff, which I now have in a mobile rack. So I can smack that on a table, and it folds up, and there's a 4K monitor mounted in it. And I can literally set up a live switching studio anywhere now without taking anything down here.
Wow.
So I have more Blackmagic cameras, which I can throw in a suitcase and take that rack, take lighting, and I can set up a 5-6 camera setup anywhere mobile. That is sitting, that's set up with recorder, switcher, screen, I don't know, $6,000-7,000 sitting in that rack, which I can grab, throw in the trunk. We've done this at Houston Kettner, for example. So I could set up a live switching setup anywhere now. I could even go live with it. I can do live streaming. There's a live stream box in there.
Wow.
And I can do all of that without having to touch anything here now. Of course, I did that for Gear Street for the extra rooms. But if anyone thinks what I do, oh, it looks nice, it's kind of neat, the amount of working yourself into it, buying it, learning it, committing to the investment is utterly ridiculous. Like this, wait, let me see if we can see that. You can see this. There's a light right there, which you can't see right now. Looks like a normal light that you would have like with a softbox.
Yeah.
You can get them at Amazon with a bulb in it, and you can get a 2-pack for like $70.
Yeah.
And that's what I started with, you know? I mean, so
that's what I should
light,
have set up here, but I haven't.
But you know those. I mean, it's got a big neon bulb in it, and it comes with stand, $70, and that's what I started with, and that is absolutely fine. That light that you see over there, without the stand, just the actual light, is $1,200.
Jesus.
And the softbox on it, only the softbox is another $200. And I have 4 of them. Because for Gear Street, I have 3 video studios set up here. So I've got one of them set up here for lighting of something from another angle. The main light that's lighting me right now, that's actually installed for good on the ceiling. Yeah. That's something they literally use in Hollywood. That is one of the 2 main companies. ARRI is the big one. They're ridiculously expensive. This is Light Panels, which is only slightly ridiculously expensive. But that light is literally what they use on Hollywood sets. And that's $5,500.
So anybody who thinks this is easy and cheap needs to have a think about what they want to do.
Well, I haven't done. Oh, let me do this right now. There's a light behind me. Let me show you this.
Go on.
So some people should see the difference. Oh yeah, you totally see it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a halo around me. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
But in the camera that is going to be in this video, you can see that there's a little bit of separation now on my shoulders from a backlight. Wait, I'm going to plug this back in.
That's why I'm nodding rather than speaking.
Yeah, okay, thank you. You got it, I didn't. That's called a backlight.
Yeah.
Or a headlight. And I'm using the Dedo, it's a German company, Dedo, a D-LED 4. It's a very powerful LED, you can focus it. And it's I have it in multicolor, which means it's a different warm white, different or bicolor, not multicolor. It's called bicolor instead of just being daylight. And this really makes a difference to separate the guitar and separate you from the background. It's a small detail, but it's a nice detail. Can you use other lights? Absolutely. Am I insane? Yes. That's $1,300. It's $1,300 for that. And can you use other lights? Some people literally use, and it totally works, like a desk lamp. If you put a desk lamp behind you so that you don't see the bulb, it will give you a little bit of a halo. Well, this is one that I can tune perfectly in terms of the white balance.
Yeah.
Because if it says on the display 5500 and I go to my camera and I set up 5500, that should match. It's a professional piece of gear.
Yeah.
So I strive to have very professional. I want to look at the videos and go like, damn, that's the best I can possibly get.
Yeah. And that shows. That's the thing. That really shows.
Can you do it with other gear? Oh, hell yeah. You can get a DSLR for like $500. You can get the lights that you can get at Amazon for $70. You can get a desk lamp behind you. I see video from people that have very basic gear, and it's amazing. Okay. But if you have pro lighting, it's going to be more even. There's going to be less shadows. There are shadows right there right now. Damn it. But
I mean, I've got like a shiny forehead and kind of shadows down here because at the moment my light is a desk lamp in front of me because I didn't charge my flat panel light, so I've got no light coming from this direction. I've got a door open there to get sunlight in, and I've got no depth because next to me is a curtain, and the bed's over there. So I'm in a room which I can't get that depth.
Yeah.
I don't know what I know what it should be doing. I know the theory behind it, but the practicalities are I'm sat in my spare room with a phone in front of me and a desk lamp. So as you say, you kind of make do with what you can, but
Yeah,
the difference is night and
that's
day.
how we start.
Yeah.
That's how we start. And I had videos where I already had several cameras and we're doing the live switching, but there were different cameras from different brands with different lenses. And if you're doing the live switching, you can't do color grading later.
Yeah.
Because it's all one clip. You could cut the clips and then color grade them individually. Oh my God, what an insane amount of work. So
it defeats the object of doing it live.
Exactly. So I'm doing this Ibanez neon yellow RG, and in 2 or 3 angles, it looks more green than it actually is. And so I realized, I need to invest in more of the same cameras, and I need to invest in the same lenses from the same company, because on my cameras, I've got Panasonics and Olympus, and the Olympus will be more green than the Panasonics, even on the same camera. And I need to invest in good lighting.
Yeah.
So problem is when you have that demand on yourself, when you have that expectation that this is what your videos look like, and then you do an event like Gear Street where you all of a sudden have 3 rooms.
Yeah.
I reinvested everything that the companies paid at Gear Street to be here into the gear, which means I now have way more of the same camera than I need for my videos. I have additional lighting for 2 more rooms. I can literally light 3 rooms. I have those backlights that's coming up. I have that 3 times now. And I have other little lights from light panels, which also are spotlights for another room. So I can do way more scenes than just this one scene, which actually my brother just opened up a big space in a house under me. And he says he doesn't need it anymore. And it's a perfect studio. It's a really cool as a video studio. It's almost as big as this room. And I'm going to set up a whole second live switching setup in there.
Nice.
Same level live switching camera. I mean, I have it all. And that's going to be for a nice couch setup, cool amps in the background, just a different kind of look for maybe interviews, because here interviews, it's not a cool atmosphere. So it would be cool for interviews. It would be cool for maybe a guitar review or some stuff that's possible in that scene versus the full setup here, just to give some videos a little bit of a different look. And because that way I get all the camera and all that shit out of my house. And
and justify it yourself.
I can just store it there.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting in the boxes, or I set it up and have a second studio. So
exactly.
Why not do that?
And are you going to do Gear Street again? Once the apocalypse is finished?
Well, the idea is, I'm saying yes, but I don't have it together yet. The idea is it doesn't make sense to fly in the Americans or the Australians, because we don't know where the wave is going. We don't know. America right now looks bad. And I can't invest $10,000-$15,000 in tickets only then for some YouTubers to have to say, oh, we can't come because of restrictions, or we can't come, we're afraid to fly, which would be totally reasonable. So it doesn't it's too much of a risk to spend that much money on tickets, especially not knowing where ticket pricing will be and so on. So Andy and I, we talked about it, and we're thinking about a European version.
Yeah, makes sense. Once the kind of everything's sort of under a bit more control, and we know what's happening with travel, and because I mean at the moment you got like 2-week quarantines when you land and that sort of stuff. So
the idea is we have to see what the borders will look like, but we're talking about August. So if it go, I mean, England is fucked right now, so we'll see.
Thanks.
But we'll see where it goes in August, and we're planning it in a way that if it doesn't work because of border restrictions and stuff, there's no money spent. All the money is spent. I've got the tent, I got the furniture, I got the cameras, I've got the lights. Everything's bought for last year. So I'm not investing anything new this year. And I would ask all the channels to drive. No flights. Yeah. No tickets bought. You know, even Colin from Scotland, get Colin, get Harry, get people to meet up in England, China Mike, drive over, Eirik from Norway. I mean, I know it's a haul, but maybe we tag on a day or two, make it a little bit longer, who knows.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
And then everyone drives. That way, I pay for the gas, I pay for the hotel. We have 10 channels, so a little bit smaller. But if everyone drives, then easily a week earlier we could say, look, doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I haven't set up the tent yet. I haven't done anything. No tickets are bought. No one's lost anything. I wouldn't take money from brands before we are sure it happens. I don't need any advance because everything's bought. So realistically, we could cancel it shortly. So the idea is mid-August, have nice weather, have less channels, and I would go to companies where each company has a lot more gear. Yeah. Instead of just one pedal company and then we have 20 of them. I would try to go to boutique amp distribution with loads of gear. I would try to go to Yamaha, Fender, where each company can bring guitars, basses, acoustic guitars, pedals, amps, Line 6 with Yamaha. That makes more sense because I would have 8 people from companies here instead of 25.
Yeah. So it's a bit more controllable. The environment's more controlled that way, and the amount of people having to shift in and out becomes a bit more controlled.
Exactly, yeah. And it's it'll be, let's say, 25 people overall instead of 60, spread in 4 or 5 houses.
Oh,
there wouldn't be, there'd be there wouldn't be 40 people in the tent. It's still not going to be socially distanced. You can't do YouTube videos on the same couch, socially distanced necessarily. But it'll be less people and it'll be more manageable in terms of planning it and less risky. And that way it would actually be the only thing that somehow happens this year. There's not going to be any trade shows. No. TGU from Thomann, they couldn't do it. So if we can pull it off, it'll at least be something.
Well, I look forward to seeing how that turns out because I enjoyed the footage from. I think we're still seeing footage coming out from that from certain channels, but I really enjoyed seeing it because the funniest ones tended to be where you suddenly appeared on camera. They always entertain me quite a lot. I think you and China Mike. I can't remember what it was, but there was something happening. You just suddenly appeared on camera and started insulting him.
Well, the good thing is, it's my house.
Yeah.
No one's telling me, don't come in the room. Fuck off. It's my house. If I want to go and all of a sudden sit on my couch and be stupid, I'm going to do it.
That's what makes it interesting, though. I mean, that's what makes it not another trade show. Look, I know it's getting late. You've given me an extra 20 minutes of your time that I wasn't expecting, so I'm really, really appreciative of that. I imagine you are insanely busy, so I'll let you go. But just, thank you so much for taking time out for this because you don't have to. Doesn't give you any benefits other than opportunity to rant about people. So it's been really, really fun to just chat to you and hear you kind of go on little side rants. Brilliant.
It's what I do, and someone has fun watching this, go right ahead. And why wouldn't I talk to you? I mean, it's like if first of all, if Rob Chapman takes the time to talk to you, then I can take the time to talk to you. And there's none of us. That's what people have to understand. None of us are anyone. This whole thing with Rob Chapman that happened and people, bitched about him, whatever. People have to understand Rob Chapman isn't anyone. He's actually a complete nobody. So am I. So are we all. Mm. We are, in the YouTube world, very small people.
Yeah.
I mean, when people talk about YouTubers and influencers, they're talking about people that have millions of subs, people that have celebrity status. Mm. Rob Chapman's big in the YouTube world. Don't get me wrong. He's probably the biggest gear guy. But even as that, we're nobodies. I'm not running around like I got 115,000 subs. I'm hot shit. Look, in the pedal YouTube demo world, I'm hot shit. I'm one of the top 10 channels. What does that matter?
It's just that niche.
The top 10. I'm one of the top 10 pedal YouTubers. Look, you can say you're probably one of the top 5 pedal YouTubers that review pedals that are only 7 centimeters in length maximum. But I mean, that's what it is. It's like we define ourselves based on like, it is. And yet Rob Chapman isn't even a guitar YouTuber. He's an electric guitar YouTuber. Actually, also in a certain style that he plays. It is a very, very narrow niche. And we look at these people, we look at Ola and Ola's a big guy. No, Ola is not. He's a cool guy. He does a great job. He's successful at what he does in an ultra niche thing, metal guitar. I am much less successful than him in an ultra niche thing. None of us has the right to think we're anyone, because we're not. We're literally nobody. We do this. It's nice that it pays the bills, but none of us can run around with a, nose up in the sky saying, oh, I'm not talking to this guy. He only has 1,200 subs. I'm too good for this. Fuck that.
And it's very appreciated that you think like that.
We're very, very normal people. Any fan that contacts me and is in the area can stop by for a coffee. And I see people at NAMM like, oh, I didn't want to bother you, maybe for a selfie. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We're nobody. And even the people that are somebody are nobody. Anyone playing in a band, they're just guitar players. Just say hi. Yeah, there's no reason to have an attitude about. There's no reason to have an attitude about having been successful anywhere, because without the fans, we're literally nothing. Even with my fans, I'm literally nothing. But you know what I'm trying to say.
I know exactly what you're trying to say. Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
If in the YouTube world, I'm super, super, super tiny. It's always funny when. I love that it happened at NAMM. It happened somewhere else too. Someone recognized me. Now, of course, I think it's because of YouTube. And then someone said, oh, you're the guy that did Frameshift. And that actually means something to me, where people recognize me for my music, for the albums I've released. And they're actually fans of the music. That just floors me. Because again, in the progressive metal world, where I was some hot shit for a little bit, I'm nobody. It's nice that it works out and we make money, but there's no reason to have an attitude or think we're better than anyone, because we're not.
That's really cool. I appreciate that. Anything relevant is going to be in the links below, and hopefully you'll see a very big difference between Henning's video and mine. Otherwise, that money is just... If not, I'm sure I can edit it to shit and make it look crap for you. I'll recolor it and be fine.
Oh, thank you. Pixelate it a little bit.
Yeah.
And to anyone saying he's just rambling off all the shit he bought and he's trying to brag, no, I'm not even into cameras. The reason why I listed all this is for people to understand that to do it so that it looks the way that it looks on my channel isn't just like better YouTube's, bandwidth or whatever. It takes real investment and real work, and it's not just. It was what we talked about on Rick Hollis' channel. It's not playing guitars. I don't play guitar that much. It's a job. See, it's a very good job, but it is a job, and it isn't getting free gear and then, sorry, no offense, but as you do, put up my iPhone, which is good. It's what we did in the beginning. But
it's not my job. I have a full-time day job. This is what I do to relax outside of my full-time day job. And if it was ever to go any further than that, I know full well that there needs to be a massive investment in time and money to make it the next few steps away.
But you can only do that. You can only invest if it actually either really pleases you and it's a good hobby and people invest in their hobby, or if you actually see, oh no, I can actually get some of that investment back in money from YouTube or companies or whatever. You're gonna buy a Sony A7 III for $3,000 if you think that'll pay off at some point. Or that it makes you happy.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the two. Hopefully both.
Well, thank you for having me on your channel. This was fun.
No, thank you. It's been great fun, and enjoy the rest of your day reviewing and playing and whatever else you're going to do. Drinking coffee.
I shall do that.
Cheers, man. Thanks very much.
Thanks.